Another Friday, another Overkill reviews. I'm Blayne Smith, and hey, we're gonna review some metal. Nice to see everyone at Quebec Death Fest, everyone that came out and said hi and what's up and all that. It was really nice meeting some of y'all. I appreciate the support. We appreciate the support, whether it's just saying hi to us at shows, you know, supporting the channel, or on our Patreon, you know, tossing us a couple bucks. You guys are great. It always makes me feel all warm and tingly inside. I can't believe you didn't mention this next band in Metal Monthly. Why is it? Is it because you were also working on a review for it? Yes, we did not forget Cult of Luna released A Dawn to Fear today, September 20th, on Metal Blade Records. So, Cult of Luna formed in 1998 in Sweden, and they are a post-sludge, hardcore, atmospheric, there's a lot of words, so let's just say they're a postmodern band. Hey, there we go. And, you know, some people have even said they're one of, if not the best, of the post-metal bands. So, you know, there's some pedigree here. Luckily, the lineup is not different on this record than on the last record, so I don't need to butcher a host of names. Sweet. Everybody comes out on top. We've had actually a pretty long layoff for the band. 6 years since their last album, unless you count the collaboration album that they did a couple of years ago, which I'm not counting, and the band didn't seem to count either because there's not really any of 2016's Mariner in here. And oh God, I've started reviewing the album. Quickly, get to the review. So, post bands tend to be feeling-based bands. The name of the game is generally conveying emotion, kind of above all else. And Cult of Luna has always been supremely skilled at showing us a wide variety of them, from the dark depths of a Neurosis record all the way to the occasional soaring, airy heights of an Explosion in the Sky record. So these emotional transitions can be a gradual progression over the course of a song, or they can even be a quick flip of a switch, like on Opener the Silent Man. Towards the end, there's a bright passage that I don't like, but that's out of bias, so it's in the positive part. Suddenly, with a bit of use of organs, the whole thing takes on a different tone, and then it sounds like something I do like. It's really cool, it's really sudden, it switches in, it switches out, and without that kind of bright, sunny part that I'm like, bring on the doom and gloom, we wouldn't get this kind of weird, eerie part. So, they balance things well, they use it well, and they transform it well. So, easily the best part of the album for me, though, is title track, A Dawn to Fear. It really kind of exemplifies what I think is super cool about post-metal songs and albums, and does the idea great. It's a type of song I love where you take a slow, long build-up, then you get to this really cool guitar part that I absolutely love the sound of. You get some heaviness, some experimentation with the idea of that guitar part, and then close it out with that guitar part with a little more behind it. It's a really effective, cool thing to do. The intro is like 5 minutes leading up to this guitar part. It's a very minor thing in the song, but because of that anticipation and the excitement and how good it sounds, I'm all giddy waiting for it. It's like I flipped the lights on in the oven and I'm staring in waiting to eat them cookies. One of the most surprising parts of the album is the softness of Cult of Luna has definitely been blunted. This is a harsher album than they normally produce. If you compare something like And With Her Came the Birds off Somewhere Along the Highway to We Feel the End on this album, there may be similar tracks, but it's like the old one popped a Xanax, and we're definitely getting a
muddier, more weighed down, heavier sound, which, hey,
you know, normally I have to complain about bands in their career getting softer, so sweet. They've also shed a lot of the electronic-y vibe since Vertical, going with more straight organ sound this time around, and hey, again, cool, you know? If you're gonna put in some keys, organs are the coolest keys. So, like I said, there are still elements of both, but the favor is definitely in the heavier side. A song like Inland Rain has a positive tone to the thing, but there's some thick, chunky bass and heavy drums tossed in to just bring that party down like I don't know, me stumbling into some lady named Carol's baby shower. One of the problems I do feel that a lot of post bands suffer from, though, is that everything can kind of feel a little samey to each other. It's sort of like stumbling into a modern art gallery if you're a dumb guy. Hey, why do all these paintings look the same? Are they the same guy? You know, like the start of Silent Man has this super great, admittedly, riff. Nothing against the riff, but it sounds super familiar. I can't place from where, and if you know where, maybe put it in the comments below and you'll be helping me scratch an itch I can't reach. I'm not saying it's like a copied or plagiarized thing. It's just, you know, you feel like this is cool, but there's a little hint of familiarity there. I know I can be a bit of a bean counter in my reviews about album length, but I do actually think it's a really good way to judge an album at the end of the day. You know, something like Midnight's Satanic Royalty is 30 minutes, so I put it on all the time. Something like Bell Witch's Mirror Reaper is like an hour and 20 minutes, but I put it on all the time because if an album's length is right and it feels right, it doesn't really matter how long it is, you don't notice it. But if it's not right, that's when it's apparent. So this one also clocks in at about $1.20, and is it using the time fully, effectively? Not exactly all the time. The start of Light on the Hill is about 4 minutes of, I don't know, the musical expression of pretending you're pooping, but you're just scrolling through your phone on Instagram to get out of work for a couple minutes. Now, I might not notice something like that because Lights on the Hill does turn into a great song if I felt there was like an overarching progression or theme or central idea to the album, but I'm not picking up on one. I don't see one. It's not like there's a emotional progression from the start of the album to the end of the album. I feel like every song has a really nicely balanced pace and structure, except, you know, some of the little wasted time I mentioned. They start somewhere cool and they end up going somewhere cool, almost always. But the whole album, I don't know. It feels a little bit more collection of songsy, and again, great songs, than coherent, cohesive album-y. So yeah, there's a little too much vanilla ice cream spacing out the chunks of cookie dough in here, but it's not some dumb shit like mint chocolate chip. Hey, what if eating ice cream was like brushing your teeth? So, you know, it's a cool trip. It's a worthwhile trip. They've put enough of those awesome sounding post-metal parts in there that really kind of stimulate a pleasure center in my brain that I'll do this occasionally, but there is some issues that'll prevent me from regularly making this trip because it's a long one. So that's why I'm giving it 4 out of 5 multifaceted skulls that can only be judged as a whole. Hey, art joke, woo! But as always, I have 2 shout-outs for you. Well, sometimes it's not always the 2, whatever. The 2 albums you should also check out. If you want some more, spend some time with it, put it on, make yourself a bubble bath kind of action. Antigon's Fate released Zoom Horizont on Northern Silence Productions. It's some atmospheric black metal to really kind of, you know, get you grooving to yourself and go like,
ooh, yeah, all right, let's relax. Let's let those stresses and everything melt off.
And then on the exact other side, we've got Earn, Iron Will of Power on Season of Mist, Underground Activists. Definitely, I think the best cover that came out this month. It's glorious, it's fantastic, and the album inside is just some great, great metal. So hey, that's it, that's all. Thanks for coming out. Subscribe, like, Patreon. And if you do support us on Patreon and you're thinking about it, keep your eyes peeled. That new Riddick design is coming. And hey, speaking of Riddick, hey, cool. It's another Riddick design. This is for his project, Fetid Zombie. Hey, thanks for sending us the stuff. You're the best. Bye-bye.